Good evening, guys, and welcome back to the Toon Review, where tonight it is, of course, the Brighton versus Newcastle United preview. Yes, good evening, one and all. It is the Toon Review. It is Brighton versus Newcastle United, the preview. Thank you to everybody that joined in the show earlier on today. Nearly 1,000 viewers on a tea time show. Hello, is that Dipsy?
It's Dipsy, yeah.
Yeah. Nearly 1,000 live viewers on a tea time show is quite incredible. So thank you, each and every one of you, for that. We really do appreciate it. But tonight we move on from the transfers and we start talking about the big game at the Amex on Saturday, which sees a 3 o'clock kickoff between Brighton and Newcastle United. We've got Chloe coming on in just a second to give us the Brighton side of things and what she thinks of their start of the season, of course, beating the scum, shall we say, last week brilliantly. So we could all have a laugh at Manchester United, which was a huge bonus for us Newcastle fans. And we'll see how we're going to do, because it's a big game for Newcastle United. Do we go with the same team? Are we predicting the same team, etc., etc.? We'll just go through a few comments before Chloe comes on. CKM says, we'll crack a beer and watch this evening. How are the lads? Oven Chip says, well, that's it. We've missed out on the biggest move of the summer. Been after this man for 12 months, but Hamza Chowdhury has gone to Watford.
Just couldn't get it over the line.
All the rumours of Hamza Chowdhury now can disappear into the sunset. It doesn't matter anymore because he's a Watford player. Steve says, how can we have failed to land the legend that is Hamza Chowdhury, instead of which we could be stuck with a Brazilian midfield maestro? Bring back Charlie. No. Michael says, even the Toon Review, hope everyone is well, sitting in the garden trying to keep cool. Probably not the best place to keep cool is the garden, but, you know. Vicky Brook, thank you for becoming a new member. Welcome to the Members Club. Thank you for joining the Toon Review family. Good evening, Jules. Welcome to the show. Enjoy and show some love by clicking that like button. Bonjour, Chippers. Good evening, Gary. Of course, another mod. Keeping the comments respectful and no duplicate comments. Steve says, I've been stuck inside on a computer all day working hard except for the transfer show. And now I'm sitting inside on YouTube waiting for the Toon Review. Well, your wait is over, my friend, because we are live. Try to do a Martin Tyler there, but I don't want to be associated with that gimp. Matty says, good evening, Toon Review team. You absolute legends. I hope you're all well. And, of course, there is Carl Freeburn with his normal £6.10 super chat. So thank you very much, Carl. If you are enjoying the show tonight, guys, please do remember to hit that like button. And, of course, if you're new to the channel, please do hit the subscribe. It is free to do so. And also the notification bell, which will let you know when we go live or upload. We've had something like 200 subscribers in 4 days, I think it is, which is quite incredible. So thank you, everybody. And, of course, if you want to donate to the channel, you can do by hitting the $sign at the bottom of the live comments, which will take you through to the payment method. So thank you in advance for that. Out and About with Rob says, can you please put my name in the hat for the draw? Yes, I forgot to mention that. Uno momento.
Oh, my God.
Just dropped my phone. It's all right. Sound like John Sinclair. Now, I did order, as everybody knows, the Loch Ness FC shirt, the away shirt, which arrived today. There it is, in the flesh, and it is rather beautiful, right? However, this states on the back of this shirt, right? You know, I like me big shirts, baggy and everything. 5XL, okay? This wouldn't even fit a 3XL. This is between an XL and a 2XL, right? Now, the manufacturers of these shirts are somebody called ZN Sport, okay? Now, whoever works for ZN Sport must have moved from Castoria to start his own business, because these sizes are as much use as a chocolate fire guard in the friggin' Sahara Desert. It is a ridiculous fitting. I will refuse outright to look like a beach volleyball player again. Now, Loch Ness FC, I have to say I'm disappointed, because I'm ready to order your home shirt, which is just absolutely stunning. And I will continue to have you as my non-league team. But sort this out, man. This is nowhere near a 5. So what I'm doing is I'm giving it away on the show tonight.
Very good.
Yes. So, Danielle, have you got a pen with you by any chance?
No.
Anybody got a pen? Billy?
Oh, wait, hang on. I might have. I'm just taking with us for a second.
So I've got one here, Danielle.
Danielle, Billy's got one. It's all right. Plunk your ass back down. There you go. If you put in the comments that you'd like the shirt, Billy will write your names down and we'll put you in the draw for the end of the show, and we'll just pick a winner, and then I'll send it out to you. The other winners of the shirts, they're all packed. They're going tomorrow, so well done on them. And we're just waiting on the delivery of the mugs, etc. So there you go. Out and about with Rob wants one, Billy, so if you can put that in. 2 shows in one day. You're spoiling us. Yes, we are. We're working very hard. And thank you for everyone that appreciates the work that we're actually putting in. Zishan, thank you for your $17.99 super chat. Evening, peeps. Sorry, haven't been on the shows lately. Need to catch up. Had a mini Zishan come into the world. So over the moon, 3-0 to the Toon against Brighton.
Wow,
Zishan, fantastic news.
Well done, Zishan.
We know you're a big watcher and a big subscriber to the channel and a big donator. So thank you so much. That is really appreciated. And congratulations on little Zishan coming into the world. And Graham Thompson, thank you for joining the members club. Welcome to the Toon Review. Right. I'm going to stop babbling because we've got a guest and I don't want to keep her waiting. Chloe, good evening.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Good. Now, obviously, we had you on the channel last season. Slightly different this season because you've started very, very quickly. I know I've seen your pictures down at Old Trafford. You were there. I mean, that must have been a fantastic result.
Yeah, I mean, it was probably one of the most memorable away days that I've actually had. I feel like the atmosphere was brilliant. Even before kickoff, we were singing. And we just hit the ground running, really. I don't think United were particularly good, but we just took them apart. And it was just so fluid. All the passing was so sort of bam, bam, bam. And then it was a goal. It was just so nice to see. And we actually attacked with quite a bit of pace at times. And we should have had a penalty as well. But I'll take 2-1.
I mean, how that wasn't a penalty, I will never know in my wildest dreams. And McTominay should have been sent off for a dreadful tackle as well. I mean, but you don't expect those kind of things to go for you at the theatre of shit. Now,
true.
Did Brighton go into the game thinking they could get something out of it, or did you just think, well, it's Old Trafford, it's Man United, or did you think, well, they're not what they were, we've got a chance?
I thought we might be able to get a point. I didn't think we'd win, to be honest. I didn't. I thought, it's Old Trafford, they'll get a dodgy penalty or something. But I did have a bit of a good feeling, so I thought maybe we'd get a point. Although we obviously...
Normally when you're leading at Manchester United, they pull a goal back and it's normally all hands to the pump in defence. But from what I saw and from what I'm led to believe on sort of various reports, it wasn't like that. Brighton kind of just saw the game out and still pressed for a third goal, which is incredible. It just maybe shows how far Man United have fallen. I mean, it's just one of them things. But from a Brighton point of view, to see them playing like that, not sitting back at Old Trafford, is incredible, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really exciting time to be a Brighton fan, I think. Just onwards and upwards, I think, really.
Yeah.
And it's been that way since I started supporting us. We've just gone up and up and up, and it's been absolutely incredible to watch.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, we know that Graham Potter is a fantastic manager. We always speak about him on this show as a potential England manager. Before Eddie Howe, we have to say that we don't want to lose Eddie anyway. But the football he plays is just so entertaining, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just so good. It's so positive, and I'm always rolling my eyes at his decisions, and you think I would have learnt by now that he knows what he's doing. Because when I saw Lallana in that squad, I did roll my eyes. I thought, what's he doing starting? Especially since Gross and Lallana, we don't have very good statistics when they start together. I think they're a bit too similar sometimes, but they work really well together, and obviously we got the win. So, yeah, I'm thinking to myself, Chloe, why do you doubt him? You know, I've done it before when I've seen the lineup and thought, why has he gone with that? And then we win. So I really need to stop questioning his decisions, because he obviously knows what he's doing.
Yeah, but as a fan, you're always going to do that, aren't you, I suppose? But Danielle, you were buzzing when that result happened, weren't you? I mean, we did the show on Sunday night and you were delighted because I don't know whether you know, Chloe, but Danielle has an absolute hatred for Manchester United. I mean, not just a normal I hate them, but this is pure hatred. This is I would love to burn Old Trafford down to ashes. So of course, Danielle, you were buzzing, weren't you?
No, absolutely. And I think I was a bit annoyed at the pundits, really. You know, after the game, it was all about, oh, Manchester United, and look how bad they are. Where was the look how well Brighton played? Like, it's the same old tricks they play every season, and I'm absolutely sick. Like, why shouldn't Brighton beat Manchester United? Why shouldn't they? Like, who are they? They're nothing anymore. So that's the way I see it. I'm just so sick of the one-sided top, like, big six, not even in the big six. Commentary. I just think teams like Newcastle, teams like Brighton, why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we do that and achieve good things and be spoken about the way we should be spoken about? I just think it's terrible. You know me, hate them lot.
I know. Chloe, was that something you picked up on, the fact that you didn't get the credit maybe you should have been deserved? Because even I mean, talk shit. We're going on about it all the time about how bad Man United were, the crisis at Man United. And you very rarely heard anybody give Brighton any credit. You've just said it there earlier on. The football that you played was fantastic. And because it's Manchester United, Brighton maybe don't get the praise that they deserve.
I mean, I'm kind of used to it, to be honest. Whenever you beat a big six club, you get them. They were awful. They had an off day. You very rarely get any sort of praise, I think. Sort of a bit used to it by now, although we did start to get a bit more praise at the end of last season. But obviously we've gone back now. We're not getting any more praise. I don't know. I don't know why they do it. It's almost like, I don't know. They like to focus on the big six, I guess. But
yeah, well, we know that as Newcastle United fans.
Anyone might say it's a cartel. I mean, some might say that.
Some might. I mean, who would say it's a cartel? I mean, you know, we don't say things like that on this channel. Now, obviously, I know you're a massive Neal Maupay fan, Chloe. Is he going to feature this season? Because I heard rumours that he was possibly leaving. I saw a few tweets from you which were very disappointed with that.
Yeah, I mean, I still think he's got a part to play this season, but he does only have a year left on his contract. And if there are teams that are interested, I don't think he's going to feature as heavily because Welbeck has been starting. He's been performing really, really brilliantly recently. He was brilliant again at Old Trafford. And Maupay isn't really getting much game time, and obviously he's going to want that. So as much as it's going to devastate me, he might end up going elsewhere, but I would like to replace him because obviously with Welbeck there is always the possibility that he could pick up an injury and be out.
Well, they brought on Dennis Undav, didn't they? So they had Maupay on the bench and didn't bring him on. They brought Undav on instead, so it's a bit damning.
That must be a bit of a worry for you, Chloe. Just because I know I've seen your phone holder and your phone case, and it's Neal Maupay everything really. But and you know he has been a good servant to Brighton, hasn't he? But is it time maybe to move on and move with different strikers? Is that what Graham Potter's maybe trying to do? Is look at his different options now? And you mentioned Welbeck there; he is an injury-prone player. But somebody who came on, like Alex has just said there, instead of Maupay, is that maybe where Graham Potter is sort of leaning now?
I mean, we've got Undav, who we signed in January, but he stayed at USG where we signed him from on loan for the rest of the season. So we've just got him back in the summer. Yeah. And obviously, I think he is preferred above Mopé, but I still see him as a bit of an unproven player, really. We don't really know how he's going to do in this league. I think the Belgian league is a bit different, really.
Yeah.
So, if he can get the goals,
need time
great.
to get used to the Premier League, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, it's interesting, just because. How long's Mopé been there now?
3 years, 3 seasons. This will be his full.
Technically that long, really, is it? But Vicky says, I'm called Graham, not Vicky. Well, pardon me, but does that not say Vicky Brook, or am I reading Japanese writing there? I mean, how am I supposed to know your name's Graham? For the love of God.
Not just that. Why are all the people with the most longest names in the world putting their names down for going in the hat? It's unbelievable.
Well, look, Billy, I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. I just hope your handwriting's... Why are you flapping your hand?
I've got writer's cramp, man.
Jesus.
I've heard about 7,000 words in about two minutes.
And that Undav, by the way, to be fair to him, coming from the Belgium league, he got 30. He got a lot. What did he get?
Yeah.
34 goal contributions in 33 starts, which is pretty outrageous. So he was far too good for the Belgian league. So arguably he's more than comfortable at stepping up in the Premier League. It would be surprising if he couldn't. He's a good weight. He's 5'10". He's 26. He's peak age for a striker. It'd be weird if he couldn't do it, especially with Graham Potter as a manager.
Now, we spoke about this earlier on, Chloe, and I don't know what your thoughts are, but for us, we've got the two best English managers going head-to-head on Saturday in Potter and Eddie Howe. Two really, really promising managers who play good football the right way. But the media seem to be focusing on the other English managers that are meeting head-to-head this week, which, of course, is Lampard and Steven Gerrard. Are you the same as us, that you think maybe, again, it's media bias and aiming towards those two rather than actually focusing on the best two English managers around in Potter and Howe?
Yeah, I don't know why they're focusing on it. I suppose they had quite good careers as footballers, so now they must be amazing managers, which doesn't really follow at all.
No.
Oh yeah, that is weird focusing on that one. I don't really understand it.
Because for me, those two are in the running for first to be sacked this season. Steven Gerrard, it turns out, has the same record at Aston Villa as what Gary Neville did at Valencia, and he was absolutely pummeled for that statistic. And Frank Lampard, well, he manages the absolute skip rats of the earth in Everton Football Club. So I just don't get it. And Billy, it's annoying, isn't it? Because we know how talented these guys are. We know how good Graham Potter's been, and we know how good Eddie Howe is. Yet the focus on two managers who, at the moment, it can only be said are failures. It's crazy.
I'll go as far to say as I think the game of the day this weekend will be Brighton and Hove Albion against Newcastle United. I've looked at the fixtures. They've got the two brightest young English managers going against each other. I think it's going to be a cracking game. Well, I think Villa and Everton could end up being a relegation 6 points, even this early in this season. If they both stay there anyway. If they both stay there anyway, that's for certain. Gerrard had an easy win at Glasgow Rangers. It's a 2-horse race. Lampard, he's done okay at Derby, did okay at Chelsea until he was allowed to spend money. Then he went down the pan, and I think he'll go the same at Everton, if I'm honest. So, yeah, the game of the weekend will be at the Amex. That's certainly not Goodison Park.
Is it a worry for Brighton fans that England might come knocking Chloe one day?
Yeah, that does scare me a bit. I'm not sure that's something anyone could turn. He couldn't turn that down. I'm sure that's sort of an honour, isn't it?
I mean, we the same over Eddie Howe, to be honest. But we think Graham Potter would be the first in line.
Yeah, probably. That's why I want England to do well with Southgate. I can't stand Southgate, but I want him to do well just so he stays there.
Yeah, it's understandable. I mean, Alex, we have got the two best managers going head to head, English-wise, haven't we, on Saturday?
Yeah, indeed. Very, very creative. I mean, obviously, we share a linked sort of not board member, but backroom personnel man in Dan Ashworth. So he's been instrumental in helping, the turnover of cheaper young talents that were able to be molded and were very technically impressive. I mean, everybody's banging on about Caicedo at the moment. It's not a new find. He partnered Bissouma when they battered Man United 4-0 at the back end of last season. So this is not a new thing, and he was very good in that game. They're just good at they have been good at finding talent, the right physicality, that have got the right technical skills, and they're coached up, and they all play very good football. I mean, Danny Welbeck looked really good the other day, and Danny Welbeck has been poor for a long time, and he actually looks like a good footballer again. It's quite nice to see, actually. It seems to be a theme with both managers, is that they can coach talent or coach even people who have had bad careers or wobbly careers, and they get a tune out of pretty much everybody. It's very impressive.
Yeah, exactly. And I think is it a plus point, Chloe, for Brighton fans that Danny Welbeck looks like he's getting sharp again and maybe putting those drab seasons behind him, and Potter's working a miracle with him.
Yeah, I mean, I have my doubts about Welbeck even last season, but sort of the end of the season, start of this one, and even in the pre-season, he's just impressed me so much. He just looks like such a good player, sort of really complete forward, and I think he'll get quite a few goals this season. He made some great runs against United, getting in behind their defence, and should have had a penalty.
Yeah, it was without a doubt a penalty. What did you think of the challenge by McTominay, though? I mean, because that seems to have just nobody seems to have mentioned it at all, and it was a disgusting It was an ankle breaker. It was a leg breaking tackle, and it was a terrible challenge.
I just remember when it happened, I just saw Caicedo go down, and he looked in a lot of pain. I was just really worried about him, so I was more focused on that than knowing whether it had been a red card or anything. But yeah, on looking at replays, it should have been a sending off, but I would prefer to beat 11 men than 10, because that's what the headline would have been. If they got a sending off, it would be Brighton beat 10 Man United. It wouldn't have been so good for us,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. I know where you're coming from. It would have been a Brighton win, but it would be all about the sending off and how that spoiled the game, and how Manchester United, were denied the chance to come back against Brighton because of a sending off, which was absolutely shocking, to be honest. Billy, are you glad you found your pen first before Danielle?
No.
I'm doing a backup list. Don't worry.
Oh, well done.
I'm just keep going through them, so you will be picked up on there. Alex, it's a big game for us on Saturday as well, because we have to be ready for Brighton, don't we? Because we know that how well they played at Old Trafford, and the way they play is sort of a free-flowing football now, really quick passing and things like that. We have to be right on the go from 3 o'clock, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, we've got a competent manager and a competent first 11, and we're not going to have the same issues that they had from minute one. Man United suffered from not having an outlet and not having a proper striker. They used Eriksen up front. They all tried to come deep. We're going to have a proper number 9 up front in Callum Wilson. We haven't got Fred being the trigger of their press. We've got Bruno. So if they want to press Bruno, that's fine, because he's one of the most press-resistant midfielders in the Premier League, or in Europe at the moment. So everything that they could exploit is not really it's not really exploitable for us. Luckily for us, that's quite fortunate. They're not going to be able to cut us open in the same way they did Man United. It's going to have to be a different way, possibly with the overlaps against Trippier and Target. Maybe they could try and get him behind that way. Maybe a bit of Dan Burn, sort of slow on the turn. Possibly there are ways they could get at us, but we are far more prepared than Man United were. That's for sure. So it'll be hopefully a much more balanced and fun game to watch.
How will Dan Burn be received at the Amex when he makes his return? Because it looks like he'll be playing. Botman will probably be on the bench again. So it looks like Burn and Shea again will be the two centre-backs. How will he be received at the Amex, Chloe?
I think we still really like him at Brighton. A lot of respect for him, so could sort of understand why he wanted to go. And yeah, I think he'll get a good reception.
It was clear to see actually when you guys came up in the second half of last season, and the away fans gave him a hell of an ovation at the end of the game. He went and applauded them, stood at the touchline, your byline, and applauded the fans, and got a really good reception from Brighton. So that's good to see. And the fact that you've said there, you can understand why he went. Obviously, his hometown club, who he supported as a boy, and he's been magnificent for us, absolutely magnificent. And I heard a Brighton fan on another channel earlier on saying that he wasn't too fussed about Dan Burn and wasn't too unhappy when he left.
I don't know. I feel he wasn't necessarily a starter when all our centre backs were fit, but I think last season he came in when Dunk was injured, and he was solid. He got better. He started off quite shakily. I remember he had a performance against Wolves, which is one of the worst individual performances I've seen from a player. You know, it was quite bad, but he sort of really improved over the sort of next season and a half. And yeah, when we lost him, it was sort of like we're losing our most informed centre back, really, because he had just been so solid those sort of few games. And I do think we missed him when he left, because we had Dunk, who had just come back, and then he got suspended because he got sent off against United. So we ended up going through quite a bad spell where we lost quite a few games.
Adam Webster got injured as well, didn't he? That was a problem.
Yeah, that was it. And it was just, I do think we missed him. I think not replacing him possibly was a mistake. Obviously now we've got Van Heck back at Brighton, so he's sort of a backup centre back. So we've still got that name now, but.
Van Heck,
Jan Paul Van Heck. It's a brilliant name.
Not as good as the 1860 Munich player, Alex. Whatever von Mackenheiser or whatever his name was in pre-season. Right, what we're going to do is I'm going to make a cut-off for the draw for the shirt, because otherwise Billy's going to lose.
Can I just mention how impressive Brighton are? The fact that nobody's mentioned Lamptey yet. They've done all this without Lamptey. I just thought I'd say that. That's quite impressive.
I'm going to come on to him in a second. So basically, you've got 2 more minutes to put your name in the hat. Obviously, the comments are timed, so any after 8:30 p.m. will not be in with a chance to win the shirt. So otherwise, Billy's, writer's cramp isn't even going to come into it. So 8:30, anything after that won't be included in the draw. But we'll keep going for now. Chloe, talking about Lamptey, he's been linked with us today.
Oh, really?
Yes. And we just look at it as saying, well, Lamptey and Trippier down the right-hand side would be a dream for us, because one thing about Tariq Lamptey is he has ripped us apart every time he's been on the pitch against us in recent times. So will you be upset if he left? Oh, I think Chloe's frozen. Yeah, she's frozen. So
I wouldn't be upset if he left and came to us.
Well, I know. Hopefully, we'll get Chloe back. She's internet problems. Where are we at? Paul Hansen wants the shirt. George T wants the shirt. Alex, obviously Saturday's going to come round, and I can't see any changes for Newcastle United. Can you?
No, but with Eddie Howe, you never know. He might change things tactically, because this is quite an interesting game. Everybody keeps talking about obviously the intelligence of the 2 managers and how it's very tactical. Maybe it might be a bit of mind games. Maybe they might try to preemptively alter something. It might not be something initially in the starting lineup, but it might be something reactive. If we go a goal up or a goal down, or something happens that we don't like, he might change shape. I can definitely see them being prepped for any situation though. I don't expect any changes. Possibly, again, Willock, Longstaff. It depends. I can't. With the amount of space Willock was leaving in midfield, Brighton would really punish us for that. So that again worries me. But maybe they, they've spoken to him, told him, please don't do that again. But I'm not predicting any starting lineup changes necessarily.
Yeah. Chloe, I see your phone overheated, but Saturday, obviously Brighton. Do you think there'll be any changes from the Brighton team? Do you think he'll include? I forget his name again now. Moved from Liverpool. What's his name? It's completely gone out of my head.
Lallana.
That's him, aye. Yeah, I don't know where my brain went there. Will he include Lallana?
Yeah, I think we'll probably keep the same team. Although it's Potter, so I wouldn't be surprised if he did change it up slightly, maybe mix. Because obviously, we're probably going to play a bit of a different game to we did against United. Because obviously, you mentioned you're not as easy to exploit.
Are you worried at all about Newcastle? Because obviously we're a bit of a different team to what you played last season. In fact, we're a different club altogether from the club that you met last season. I mean, do you as opposition fans view us as a different team now?
Yeah, I would say I'm slightly worried. I do think you're going to be very hard to beat. I do think it's going to be a tough game. I would say we're quite evenly matched, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, sort of, even when we played you last season, you looked quite, obviously you beat us. We were going through a bit of a bad patch, but
yeah, you were.
Yeah, I definitely am a bit worried, and I wouldn't like to say what the score's going to be because I just don't have a very good feeling.
We were in a bit of a roll though, then, to be fair.
Sorry, Alex?
I just wanted to mention there was one interesting thing about that. When that game specifically that you're talking about, our lads were in a bit of a weird run of form. It was like 4 or 5 yellow cards in midfield every single game. They were being really aggressive. And even though we won that game, John Joe Shelvey, who was wearing the armband at the time, apologised for his poor performance, even though we beat Brighton. So the standards, for some reason, I don't know why, but the standards at that time of the season, they were just absolutely going for it. They were apologising for winning because they just wanted to be perfect. So it was a bit of a weird run of form that we were in, to be fair.
Which players are you most afraid of on the Newcastle side, Chloe? Has anybody caught your eye?
I think Wilson's one that always can score against you. Bruno, he's obviously one of the best, probably midfielders outside the top 6. Very good player.
Who are you? You know, when you say top 6, Chloe, which clubs are you including?
See, I mean top
is
6,
there a top
but he
6
probably
anymore?
is better than some of the midfielders that the traditional top 6 have. But you know what I mean.
I get where you come from. Yeah, because I think the top 6, certainly when you talk about Manchester United, I mean they're not, for me, they're not a threat anymore, and they're all over the place at the minute. They may come good, they may not. I don't think. I think Ten Hag's got a hell of a job to put that club right. And you guys exploited that brilliantly on Sunday, and you didn't give them a chance, and that's how it should be. Teams going into Old Trafford now, not frightened of them or anything like that, and just playing the football, just playing how they've got. Whatever Graham Potter said to them, they went out and they executed that. And Eddie Howe again against Nottingham Forest, he said that he didn't want his players to get carried away with the occasion, before the game. Just, feed off the fans and go and play your football. And we dominated that game from start to finish, which is why I'm really excited about Saturday's game, because I think the way Potter's got Brighton playing, the way Eddie's got us playing, it could be a really, really entertaining, attacking game of football, because we know in the past, sometimes Brighton, Newcastle over several seasons was drab draws. It was not good to watch. And then, of course, you gave us a pasting quite a couple of times, and then it stabilized again. But I just think, Danielle, Saturday is going to be one of those games where we'll actually see plenty of attacking football.
Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be really close. I think it's going to be, toughly fought from both sides, and I think it'll be one in midfield for me. I think if we can, when you really focus on creating chances, and getting the ball into the box for Callum. But yeah, we've got to don't kind of underestimate Brighton. Don't buy it, otherwise they're gonna turn them over like they did Man United. So we don't want that to happen. So much respect to Brighton. Got no issue at all with them. I think they're a fantastic club, and I think clubs like us have to stick together against them in the top 6 because we've got every right to compete. So all the best for Saturday, Chloe.
Yeah, they don't like it, do they? The big boys don't like it, especially now. Obviously, Newcastle are coming into the equation. The money we have and the ambition that the new owners are showing, and of course, Brighton turning Man United over on Sunday. Things are just slightly. I'm not talking about Man City's or Liverpool here, but things are slightly changing now. Where in past seasons it's been simple to predict results when you've got the big money teams going against the smaller teams. It doesn't seem to be like that now. What formation will you be playing on Saturday, Chloe, do you think?
God, I don't even know. We've sort of been playing Trossard and March as wing backs, just trying to sort of like a...
They're playing strikers as wing backs because Potter's a genius. And it actually is working.
Really?
I don't really know what formation it actually is. So we sort of have the 3 centre backs, wing backs.
It's logged online as a 3-3-3-1, with Welbeck leading it. But the highest 3 is Trossard, Solimarch, and they will either drop or be really high. So it's a bit funny. It's like a 3-4-3, but for some reason the internet is just logging it as a 3-3-3-1, which is really difficult to visualize. Yeah.
Mike Trember, thank you very much for your $10 New Zealand super chat. Great show, great guest as usual. Up the tune and keep it up. Cheers, Mike. Roy says, busy night for you, Billy. Pop Linda Craggs into the draw for the 100 shirt.
I popped her in. Don't worry about that.
You popped her in. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Right. Before you head off, Chloe, obviously prediction, and it. I don't know why we actually do this with opposition fans, because we kind of get a feeling like we know how the predictions are going to go. But how do you feel?
I'm going to go 3-1 to Brighton.
Ooh.
You were scared of us a minute ago.
I know. Are you going with your heart more than your head there?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Danielle does that all the time, so we know exactly.
Yeah, I do.
Player ratings. Danielle just gives 10s even when we've been beaten 5-1. So I understand about the heart room, the head. But listen, Chloe, thank you very much for coming on again. It's great to see you, and really best of luck to Brighton for the rest of the season. Obviously, apart from Saturday, but hopefully teams like Brighton and Newcastle now can kick on and upset those big boys at the top and give them some more stuff to moan about, which will happen. But thank you for coming on, Chloe, and take care, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks for having me.
Bye, Chloe.
Thanks. Night. Always great to have Chloe on. Follows Brighton home and away everywhere they go. Follow Chloe on Twitter, and she puts photos up of every away ground. Brighton were great in the first half. Man United came back into the second half when tiredness and subs changed the game. Brighton deserved the points. Graham Potter, a great manager. The big right hand says, whack us in, Billy Bob, please.
Yeah, another long name I noticed. I noticed I can't even say it, we never write it.
The Apocalyptic Workshop.
He had his name down. I couldn't even spell it.
Well, it's on the screen, Billy. How could you not spell it?
I know.
That's a bit of a worry.
I stuttered writing it.
Fair enough. Lee says Graham Potter and Eddie Howe, battle of the British managers, love it. Look
No,
at
they're
him
English
posing.
managers. Sorry, we're not. No, we're not doing the British thing when
Oh,
it's
Alex has been on the meat. He's been on the meat.
It's meat
Yeah, but-
Thursdays. Mm-hmm.
It's not like the
What did you have
Commonwealth. We
for
don't have a
what did
team
you have for dinner
GB.
tonight, Alex? Just
I had
because
turkey actually.
Oh, so he's had meat.
There.
It's a raw turkey, ladies and gentlemen. It's he's just gone out and got it from the garden, literally ripped the feathers off and ate it while it was still live. So he's had his raw meat tonight, as he was very calm on the transfer show earlier on today. By the way, look at your Lee just posing in the. I mean, what a profile picture that is.
I took it.
Oh well, there you go. But he's got such big feet.
Indeed.
You know what I say?
Why did you say that with a glint in your eye, Danielle?
Sitting out.
Aye. Yeah.
Big shoes, people with big feet.
That's right. Deborah says 2 shows in one day. You will be spoiling us. Fingers still crossed for Paqueta. Can I have my name in the draw, please?
Indeed.
Oh, Billy, you ain't got time to fill your vape up, man.
I've done it ages ago. It's all finished, mate. It's all done.
All right, okay, there you go. Francisco says, hello, Toon Review family. Thanks to the big 6 here, the big 2 at Spain, and so on. Many clubs are facing the problems of ludicrous disparities in wages. Indeed. Chris Murray's evening, Chris. He says, hey, Billy, have you got me in the shirt drawer? Yeah.
Yeah, you're in.
So you're done now up until 8:30, Billy. Everything's done.
Absolutely. 77 names we got.
Indeed.
Right, okay. Well, if you can write the numbers next to the names, Billy.
I've already done it. I'm very good as a secretary now.
Right, but I didn't, but not in order.
Well, what difference is it, mate?
Because I'm going to pick a number between 1 and 77 later on, and I want the numbers mixed up.
You don't know what the order is.
Yeah,
That is very
good point.
true. It's fine.
Well said, Billy Tree.
Honestly, you try and do things properly.
Unless you've got a telepathic mind and you've read all the comments and numbered them as you've read them. I don't think you have.
Well, who says I didn't?
I did.
Who's number 3?
That would have been.
Look at you checking. Look at you checking.
He's squinting.
20.
I didn't do them in
Louis
order anyway. I didn't do them in order anyway, Paul.
All right, okay, fair enough. That's fine. Soli says, I'm pretty sure lineups are unchanged this week. 3-1 is what I reckon. Bodman to start versus Manchester City. Billy, we praise and salute you, sir. Paul Tully says, hello, everyone, and welcome Brighton. Hoping for a great game, but 1-0 to Toon. But he's got Bruno and Almiron to score.
Right.
The maths doesn't add up there somehow.
No.
Paul Tully, you have had a Castore. DS says, good evening, everybody. Francisco, by the way, if you could add me to the kit draw. Good evening, everyone at Toon Review. Hope you're keeping well, says Stephen. Right, Danielle, are you excited this time for going to Brighton, or are you a bit apprehensive after their result at Old Trafford?
Nah, I'm not afraid. No way. I think gone are the days. I mean, you know, when it comes to City and people like that, you know that you've probably got less of a chance of getting anything from the game. But the way we played on Saturday, nah, I'm not concerned. I'm not underestimating them by any means, of course not. But I think we're a solid team. I think we play well. I think we're playing as a unit. We're on the press all the time. I'm not concerned at all. I think we win.
That's fair enough. Billy, are you apprehensive after Brighton's performance, or do you think we shouldn't go into these games apprehensive anymore? And obviously Eddie Howe goes in every game now to win. So should we just believe in what he does now and just go for it?
I think we can be quietly confident in any game, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Yeah.
I see no reason why we can't go into any games expecting to get results out of it. And Brighton will be a game away from home, but I believe we've got the players to beat them. I do, honestly, and I think we will do. I think it's been a great game of football, though. Really, I'm looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it.
We are going to be tested defensively, I think, Alex, a bit more than what we were against Forest, because Brighton, they will come at us. And I think when you go away from home, obviously you expect the home team to be a bit more up for it because they're at home, so to come at us maybe the first 10, 15 minutes. Or do you expect it to be the other way around? And Graham Potter may be saying to the Brighton lads, let's just not concede first 15 minutes and then move on from there.
It's a tricky one. I think somebody put in the comments a minute ago, which was very, very true. The weather could be a factor as well. The last half an hour of the game is going to be difficult. the 5 substitutes is going to be important, because if it's going to be over 30 degrees and the lads are going to have to, these are 2 very high intensity, impressive teams, it's going to be a pressing nightmare. So it'll be interesting to see if we cancel each other out, or it could be manic. I'm not seeing it like, I think us versus Forest in the first 20 to 30 minutes, we were very dominant, but both of us were a bit nervy. We didn't want to get countered. They were just trying to stop the bombardment. Whereas this could be a bit trickier in terms of there's just no respect. We're both just going to go for it. I think it might be a bit more both of us off the lead, just crack on. But yeah, it could be one of those games that has a very impressive first 20 minutes, and then the heat, I think, is going to be a huge factor. That's why we got the drinks breaks in.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure it's going to be as pressy as we're used to seeing after the first 20, 30 minutes.
I mean,
I think the winner...
The home game last season against Brighton, we didn't press the whole of the second half, did we? We just picked them up in the halfway line.
Well, I think this is what's going to happen. I think the winner of the game, all of that is going to happen in the second half, or maybe later on as things calm down. Who's got the better fitness and who deals with the heat? I think the game's going to be won in the second half. Definitely, it won't be. I don't think it's going to be done and dusted in the first. I'd be surprised.
Indeed, Gerard Sue. Thank you very much for your £4.49 super sticker. Really do appreciate that, mate. Spike Milligan says, evening Toon Review family. Bacardi and Coke watching you all. A good evening already. Wouldn't mind that top.
You're in, Spike. You're in.
You're in. Steve says it should have been a straight red for McTominay. Awful challenge. I mean, imagine, Danielle, if Joel didn't made that challenge. I mean, do you think there would have been uproar?
Of course. And then there would have been counter uproar when he started telling the referee where to go. And he would have definitely got a red. So, yeah, I completely agree. I mean, thankfully, we haven't got Mike Dean again on VAR at the weekend, so I think we'll be all right. And the thing is, I think Big Joe, he's just passionate, isn't he? So when he's in, he's all in. And sometimes he just needs to temper that. But I think Eddie will have that under control. But in answer to your question, it would have been an absolute red if it was us, 100%.
The thing with McTominay is, I mean, he gets away with it every single week. And I'm getting to the conclusion that the referee's thinking it's more of an advantage to Man United if we send him off. I honestly think that. He's that bad.
Yeah.
They'd be better with 10 men than having him in the side. I'm actually, because it happens every week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, look, it is what it is. We know that Man United don't get decisions really against them at Old Trafford. That's never changed, no matter whether they're a good side or a bad side now. But, if referees are going out to protect players, then that last week was a disgrace. It really was. It was a leg break and tackle. And I actually thought when McTominay's boot went onto the Brighton player, it looked like the Brighton's player's leg bent. But it didn't bend obviously enough to break the bone. But it was sickening. But you know what? It's Man United. They're shit. But that's just the way it is. Right, Alex, you've got a graphic for us. So here it comes.
This is the horror graphic. So this is, obviously this is Brighton's current team. This is our game week 2 from last season. This is the lineup, just to show you how we've changed.
Aston Villa away.
That was our 2-0 loss against Aston Villa, in game week 2 from last season. Funnily enough, though, still a lot of players that we use and are very good nowadays. If you take these out, I mean, we get good mileage out of the rest here. These are the 3 subs that came on: Fraser, Joelinton, Longstaff. We use all of these players quite effectively, and all of them do a good job to a level.
They just weren't training properly, and they weren't fit, and they had no tactics. They had nothing. So
people saying it's all changes. I mean, that's 5 players. That's what we signed in January. It's not crazy amounts of changes, but anyway, we'll go to now. So this is if I can zoom in slightly, there we go. So this is what it's going to look like, in my opinion, and unless he does some tactical changes, but I think it will be much of the same. what Chloe was mentioning, how Trossard is technically a striker, but he has been sort of playing as a wing back, floating around here. And this is how they got a Man United. Is Trossard and Solly March were so high up all the time, which is what gave people like Gross a lot of space, and he got the 2 goals against Man United. And they just couldn't handle it. So they were playing a funny 4-3-3 as well, kind of a bit slightly changed, but. So obviously for Man United, this is Fred, and whenever Fred got the ball, that would be Brighton's press trigger essentially, and they just swamp Fred, and he there was just lots of booting the ball and hoofing the ball, and not a lot of confidence. McTominay not in the right places at the right time, hence why he was tackling like he was. They couldn't handle in the first half anyway. They were struggling in the fullback areas. I think. Trossard actually robbed the ball. So I think this was, it was Dalot who got the ball. So this was Dalot for them. And Trossard pressed, and in the first 15 seconds, robbed the ball straight off Dalot with a press and had a shot that didn't go in. But so, that reminds us of what Miggy does for us, is pesters, really, really, really annoying. So we've got to be careful. This man's a beast. This is Caicedo. He wins a lot of duels. He's very strong. He's very competent. Their defenders are very solid. Webster's very, very competent, good at passing, good brain, as is Dunk. Veltman's been doing very well as well. So it's not going to be as easy as we think. This is where we're going to have to. This is why we need quality to break teams down of sort of this ilk, because just floating.
Mike's gone off, Alex.
There we go. I'm back.
Yes.
You're back.
Just before you go on, Ian Fleming, thank you for your £20 super chat. He says, I got a prediction right last week, so going for a 2-1 win, though it will be hard.
Go on,
Thanks,
Ian.
Ian. Right, carry on, Alex.
Yeah, I'm back now. Sorry. Where was I? I can't remember what my point was.
You're talking about the centre backs.
Yes.
Centre backs. Yeah. So we're not just going to be able to do sort of subpar crossing and hope Wilson does something magical. We can't do that all the time because these are very competent centre backs. That's not going to fly every week. They're a lot better than Forest centre backs were, even though their new one did quite well. So possibly the midfield. I think we do have a better midfield. McAllister, despite being very good, and Lallana was very tidy last week. I think this is where we can exploit with Joe Linton and Bruno. And if Willock has a good day, we can definitely dominate this midfield, which will be very, very helpful. Hopefully, we can keep Welbeck quiet. I think it's the wings that we've got to be careful of with, like sort of Lallana, Marsh, and Gross, like cramming that little side. Possibly again. I do keep saying this. This is why I like Botman. Every time I do analysis recently, I'm scared of Burn. Because I don't think he's quite as solid as everybody thinks he is. He does get done for pace sometimes when he gets one-on-one with somebody who is a pacey striker or an attacker, and he struggled, and we conceded a few goals at the back end of last season with the same sort of format. And I don't think he was as good as everybody was suggesting against Forest. I think it was just that they didn't get much service to Brennan Johnson, so Burn didn't get tested very often. So he did well with what he had to come up against, but it still concerns me. So we've got to be very, very careful of Maxi going walkabout, Target getting caught out of position, Burn having to do a recovery run against somebody a lot faster than him. Again, it's which is where Joe Linton is so invaluable, because he does tend to come and try and clean up that left back if he's available.
Indeed.
So yeah, very, very winnable, but they are not to be underestimated. They are very well structured. I think they're quite scary sort of wing attacks, but I think we're way more dominant in midfield. So we've both got our strengths. We'll see. I think Wilson is far the superior striker. I think we've got the best striker. I think we've got enough. So I'll leave the predictions until later, but I just wanted to show this. And if anybody does want to have a little quick look, we don't want Welbeck, at their 2-1 win against Man U.
I mean, he did play really well against Man U, didn't he? Welbeck, he was outstanding, I thought.
Yeah, so he got a 7.8. If we look at the heat map, he was very sort of centre forward / right wing, dropping off. 3 shots off target, 2 blocks, 4 dribbles successful is very good for Welbeck. 3 key passes as well. He was very, very involved. 8 ground duels. He was being very physical, very, very strong. He looked like the Welbeck of old. He looked brilliant. And just positionally, have a look at Lewis Dunk's heat map here. Look how much. This is how good Brighton were when they had the ball or when they were sort of sitting off slightly. He's just in so much. He just goes wherever he wants. That's just how bad Man United were until they brought Ronaldo on because they had no striker.
I think he's a very, very underrated centre-back, Lewis Dunk. I really do like him.
I love Lewis Dunk. Adam Webster also is very underrated. I think both of these two are very unfortunate not to have had an England call-up in the last 12 months. Both of these should have got in ahead of Conor Cody, 100%. It's an absolute disgrace that they didn't.
Who?
We agree. We agree.
Don't know who he is.
Who?
Never heard of him.
But Adam Webster got injured, to be fair, but Dunk should have got in.
Brighton's got some very underrated. I think Solly March is a really underrated player. I think he's been a really good professional in the Premier League.
And guess what? I didn't even touch on. I didn't even mention Lamptey. So they've got weapons from the bench or to rotate their starting lineup with Undav, Malpe, Lamptey. Like they look like a good squad this season. So we've got to show them some respect.
Enoch, and what's his name? Enoch in midfield as well. Can't think of his surname. And Burma, is it? I know his first name's Enoch. Enoch, his first name is. Is it Mburmu?
Mwepu.
Mwepu.
Yeah. There's one last thing I forgot
What's
to say.
What's the point of me ever doing jokes ever again on this bloody channel? Honestly, it just goes over every bugger's head, mate. Honestly.
What was it?
I didn't hear it. What did you say?
Enoch, and I said Enoch Blyton, as in the author. What is the matter with people? I
wanted to mention before we ran out that they lost Cucurella, and they still battered Man United. So they thought maybe they would struggle having lost an important player. They still beat Man United, and they got Levi Colwill in on loan from Chelsea to kind of fill in the void. There you go. That was the last thing.
It's fair enough. Billy, I mean, where do you think the game's going to be won and lost on Saturday?
Middle of the park, no doubt about it. Absolutely no doubt about it. It's who can come out on top in that, and it's going to be a massive fight between the two midfields. And as Alex says, I agree with him. I think we slightly have the edge there, maybe more than slightly actually. But it's going to be a massive battle. It's going to be something to look forward to. Caicedo get up against Bruno, but I think we can get McAllister and Lallana's pace. I do honestly think that's where we'll win the game.
Yeah. Ian's made a song up for you, Alex. He's been on the meat. He's been on the meat. Alex, he's been on the meat.
Get in.
Oh, dear.
Can I just say, has everyone reminded to update your teams for this week?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Bloody hell, I forgot all about that fantasy football.
I forgot as well. Thanks for the reminder.
Actually, I think I put my team... Well, I kind of put my team together again when I've already used me transfer, me wild card thing to transfer loads of players without losing points. So I do some. Well, there was some work needed to be done on my team. Put it that way. But it's been done. By the way, guys, linked at the top of the live comments again is Laura's Just Giving page for her marathon run for, of course, muscular dystrophy. We had her on Monday night. Fantastic what she's doing and what she's been through to be able to do this is incredible. She did get loads of donations on the Just Giving page after the show, so thank you so much. And if you'd like to give something to Laura again, please do. It's pinned at the top, so go and give what you can because she's doing the marathon in October and it's magnificent. So please do give what you can. Thank you very much. Samsonite Dave says, big feet, big shoes to fill. Isn't that the saying?
Indeed it is.
I was going to say something else, but it's I am not going to go there.
No.
Mike says, Billy, the sexy secretary.
Thank you for noticing, Mike.
Yes, indeed. Hi, everyone. Add me in for the Loch Ness shirt. You're too late, Mark. You're too late, my friend. We do have to have a cut-off time at some point, or else Billy would have ended up having a coronary, and we don't want that to happen. Jim says, Rubenstein posted a vid that Newcastle have prepared a 30 million offer for Ramos. Can't click as I'm on here. Listen, Rob's just probably reporting on the links that we were talking about earlier on in the transfer show.
Indeed.
Rob, again, he doesn't deal in the know. He just goes off, the same as us, really. If a player's been linked, he'll report it on his channel. He'll say that we're being linked with a 30 million offer for Ramos. He's not saying it's going to happen. But Rob's a good guy, and he's got a very, very good channel there. So, he's just reporting the same as what we do, really. We don't deal in the know. We just go off what we hear in the media. We talk about it, see what it would be like as a player, and it's always very interesting, especially when we've been busy linked with players over the last 24, 48 hours. It's been absolutely mental, to be honest. Andrew says Brighton are going to get a Pezling.
I wonder what your prediction will be.
I don't know. I'm not quite sure, Danielle, if I'm honest. I don't know. Drinks breaks during the games over the weekend, indeed. Danielle, what do you think of the obviously the fourth strip? Because that came out of the blue that for some strange reason we had to go with a fourth strip because the three that we have would all clash with Brighton.
We've seen it before. We've seen it at the start of the season when the pictures were leaked. Sorry, can't speak tonight. So I like it. It's nice. I like the bridges on the front. Would I buy it? Nah, probably not. I think
that's sold out now anyway. Apparently,
I wouldn't. To be honest, I wouldn't have bought it anyway.
Good luck getting it in time for Christmas, guys.
Oh well, they probably haven't even made them yet. They've taken the orders first. Maybe that's what they're doing.
Yeah,
Castoria these days, but I think it's canny. It's all right. I don't understand the clashes at all for all three of the kits that we have, but hey ho.
It's a strange one, isn't it? Billy, do you see any reason why we needed to do that, or is it a case of they will not and they shall not play in their third kit?
Yeah, I'll talk about it tomorrow if I can.
Oh, Billy's got some beef. He's got some beef. That was a cow, by the way. Maximus, thank you for your $299. Billy is a bad unit. I would buy that man a VB.
I think that's a beer in Australia, isn't it? So, yeah, I'll take that, mate. Cheers, Maximus.
Yeah, put another shrimp on the barbie, mate. Yeah. The purchasers big up panel. R.I.P. Peter Pure Geordie. Who is Peter Pure Geordie? I haven't heard anything. I don't know. I do apologize. Somebody let me know who he is, because if somebody has passed away, then obviously we'll send condolences. Dave says, good to not fear any teams now, and no Newcastle would be competitive under Howe against most teams. Draw away at Brighton wouldn't be a bad result, but hopefully a win with Man City and Liverpool soon.
Indeed, that's exactly what I was thinking. Let's see if we can accumulate as many points as we can.
V-beer is a beer in Australia, yes. Billy. You were
well
right.
Done, Billy.
Can I just say, I think we're going to pummel Manchester City. But I'll talk about that. Yeah. I'll talk about that more in the.
Have you seen Haaland?
We'll talk about it more in the preview.
Oh,
but there's just something telling me. I may have had a vision, I may have not, but I may have. And I'm going to see this vision come true. I am.
Okay.
The other one involved Billy saying he'd commentate naked on his next home show if Newcastle beat Manchester City. I don't know where that came from either. But it's just strange dreams. I've got to stop the cheese.
I'm up for that. I'm up for it. If we beat Man City, I will do that.
Well, it's fine. You've been up for it. It's the people viewing that might not be, Bill. You have to think of people watching.
I can stand behind a green screen. No one will know.
Well, just a Billy-shaped silhouette in the background. Oh, Billy, you tease me. YT says, I think the pre-season should help us this game with heat that is due on the weekend. How are the lads?
Yeah, I just checked in the Met Office. It's the hottest part of the day is meant to be 4 o'clock, 30 degrees in Brighton and Hove. So the lads will be like mid-game.
30. Some people are saying 35 and some people are saying 37.
Well, I just checked the Met Office. It's
well, I wouldn't agree. Sometimes the Met Office can get it wrong, but listen, it's going to be hot. Let's put it at that.
It's more accurate than like the BBC or anything. It's
gonna be
the
George
actual
Michael.
goals.
Yes, 100%. Look, I think it's going to be testing. It's going to be really testing for some of the players. But listen, that's what they pay the big bucks for. You know what I mean? Just because it's going to be a bit warm. Get plenty of fluids on board. They've got the nutritionists and all the trainers who will get the right fluids in them. So there you go. Curtis says, do you not think it will be Norman's debut due to Brighton, knowing Dan Burns' game?
If Eddie Howe has the wisdom to play Norman.
Who's Norman?
Whoosh.
Right over my head.
Wisdom.
Who's Norman?
Wisdom.
What?
Botman. It's Botman, isn't it? It's a
Cockney rhyming slang.
I'm not a Cockney, am I? I'm not a Cockney. Never been clear to
I'm
you,
not Cockney, am I?
I'm not.
There, ain't you?
Enough of them buggers yesterday in London. I'm not a Cockney. Roy says, Alex, are you ever going to start unpacking your boxes, mate?
I mean, maybe. I'm very busy. I mean, I've finished working. We did a transfer show, and now we're doing this. So maybe at some point, maybe the weekend.
Yeah. And some big news is that the Toon review this is a maybe. It's something we are looking at, possibly heading to Patreon soon, which we will be podcasting from. Not videos, but actual podcasts. Dun, dun, dun. I just thought I'd done there, but don't look excited, guys. It's fine. It's please just.
I'm
stay
excited
calm.
within, obviously.
Of course. Yes.
I can do a Patreon naked then. That's good, isn't it?
Oh my god.
We could call you could do a podcast on your own, just called The Naked Billy.
Yeah.
I think that's OnlyFans.
Oh.
I don't think I'll get many, to be fair.
Oh,
How much did you make? How much did you make? £28 5p. Who gave you the 5p? They all did.
Oh dear me. Christ. Mike says it'll be a tight game, 1-1 draw. Chris says a work colleague has just asked, would Newcastle buy Cristiano Ronaldo? I said, hell no, he's too much of a liability. Not for me. Eddie Howe wouldn't have Cristiano. I think we've talked about this before, Alex. There's no way he'd want him in.
I don't know. Maybe he might. I mean,
Really?
Callum Wilson's not a pressing monster. He contributes in the press. I don't think he would ever. I don't think it would ever happen anyway. But that's a strange one. I wouldn't say no to Ronaldo.
I wouldn't either. But I mean, he's been my favourite player over the years because he's done it in so many different leagues. Danielle, unfortunately, has a nosebleed, guys, so she's got to deal with that.
So let's talk about signing Ronaldo. I don't blame her. I'm feeling the same way myself.
It's crazy, isn't it? Burn is good, but agree with Alex. The same with Target. We need someone who reads the game like Botman, but defending starts up front, so the midfield is critical for Brighton. Yeah, you defend from the front. You do defend from the front. Craig said once Botman's in the team, he will be there forever.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think as soon as Burn makes this predicted mistake that I keep talking about, as soon as that next happens, Botman's in, and then I think Burn's going to struggle to get minutes until it's unless it's a cup game.
Indeed. You okay there, Danielle?
Mm-hmm. Just
another volcanic nose eruption again, was it?
Indeed. Sorry.
It's just the heat, love. You're fine. I've actually got a cold. I just like to stress that. Susan thinks it's hay fever.
It might be.
Yeah.
My eyes aren't stinging, and I've never suffered from hay fever before. But then she says, "Well, you pick up colds all the time."
You can get hay fever later on in life.
You did.
We tried to say.
42,
hang on. Whoa. Mr. Alex, I've just picked up on that comment.
I didn't mean elderly. I just meant
later on in life.
I meant it's not developed. You don't just have it as a child.
You can
get it later on.
Wow.
42 years of age, I started getting hay fever. So he's well.
You see?
Well, maybe it is. I'll take an antihistamine after this show and see if it does anything. If it doesn't, I've got cold. But you know me, when I have cold, I never make a fuss.
No, never. You never speak about it, ever.
No, never do. Never do. Foxy says, love Burn, but liability away from home. Also loses his head away from home every game. I wouldn't say every game, but he is prone to that, Billy, isn't he? Just sort of losing a bit of concentration away from home. Somebody getting at him, he lets it get to him a little bit.
Yeah, he can tear his shirts off, can't he? And he did it at West Ham as well, didn't he? So he can do it now and again. But I must be honest, if I was picking a team, I wouldn't be changing it.
No, I wouldn't change it. But I think he's got to give Botman more minutes, though. He can't just bring him on for...
I totally agree. I'll get half an hour for me. Half an hour on Saturday, definitely.
Kevin says, can you give a shout-out to Macy?
Hi, Macy.
Hi, Macy. There you go. We've done it. Lee says he's 21st in the fantasy.
Oh, I've heard. Honestly, that's all I've heard, man.
I can imagine. He won't be making a big song and dance about it.
No, he doesn't make a fuss. Of course not.
No, absolutely. Soli says, I love Rubenstein. What a great, lovely guy. He is actually. Rob's a great guy. Absolutely great. He's
always happy, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Whenever I've bumped into him at the match, he's always been smiling, happy face, and sometimes he's been drunk as well, it has to be said. But that's, he likes a beverage at the game, and who doesn't? And credit to him, he is a lovely lad. Always got time to speak to you as well. And he's gonna pop on the channel soon as well, which would be great. So it'd be good to have Rob on. Well, Peter's actually got him on tomorrow night on his preview show. So there you go. He's got a great channel too. Indeed he has. I'd never heard of this Dieng fella, but he looks quite the player on YouTube videos. A lot of people can look good on YouTube videos, but yes, I get where you're coming from, and he's not a bad player, to be honest. He isn't. Mrs. Toon Review says only on the avatar, Ian couldn't fit his feet on screen. I've seen a couple of comments coming in about the size of my feet. Can I just say that they're bloody enormous? Evening, Susan.
What size are you?
What size do you think I am, Billy?
I reckon you're a good 13.
I'm a 12.
I was close, see?
And you know what? They say convert that to inches, Billy. You're good to go. There you go.
I'm 11, but it's more for the width.
Wow.
It is, yeah. I wear size 11 shoes, but I've got size 10 feet, but I have to wear size 11 shoes because of the width.
Yeah, because of the girth. You've always got to fit the girth.
I've got size 11 feet as well. How are you only one size higher than us when you're 6'5"?
You not size 11 feet, bloody
I've
hell,
got
man.
11.
You're only 5'2".
He's taller than that.
5'9" and a bit with size 11 shoes.
Wow, bloody hell, Alex. All the women are swooning listening to you now. Ooh, Alex, big feet like that. I tell you what, eh? Anyway, Paul says that we've worn blue strips previously against Brighton. It does smack of politics from the Premier League, especially after the whole Saudi hoopla and now the LIV Gulf. But could be wrong. I don't think you're wrong. There is a little bit of smell in the air about this again, but never mind. Paul's delusional, says Lee, or he's just played City on FIFA in amateur mode.
Uh-oh.
Tell him to shut his mouth, Danielle.
Okay. Will do.
Thank you. Steve says, at Lee, never mind parent and kids. My wife is already pissed off at me for buying the away and third shirt. She'll skin me if I bought another one. Yeah, they're not cheap.
Luckily, they're gone anyway. They've sold out.
Just buy it, put it in your wardrobe, right? And then just go, have you seen? I've just found this shirt. I've had it for ages.
You see, right? I'm going to sound sexist here, but it's not meant to be. That's a woman's trick. Because
really?
I know it's very similar to handbags and shoes, right? They'll buy a handbag or they'll buy a pair of shoes. They'll stick. Susan does this because loads of times, like, I'll say, "Oh, they're new," and she'll say, "I've had them ages," and I think, "Hang on a minute." And it's a trick. They'll go and hide something for a few weeks and then suddenly bring it out. And then it's not brand new. They've had it for ages.
I don't know what you mean.
No, of course you don't. We've got Chippers as love sites in the house again tonight. Norvix is funny about your vision, Paul. I had one that we are going to win our first 5 games. 1 down, 4 to go.
Fabulous.
Wow. That would be excellent.
We'd be top of the league, presumably, if we did, because we've got Liverpool and City in the first 5. So if we do win the first 5, we will be top of the league.
Can you imagine the scenes?
Oh, jeez. We've got another Lee here. Billy talks about getting naked. Then the sex links appear in the chat. Something you want to tell us, Billy? Seattle Geordie says not a cockney either, but Botman does not rhyme with wisdom. Tea leaf thief, apples and pears, stairs, they rhyme. Exactly. So I have a clue.
It's to do with
Norman wisdom.
If you need a bit of Norman, it means you need a bit of wisdom. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Give it the bloody Southerners, man.
It's like if you're in a bit of Barney, it means Barney rubble trouble. It means you're in a bit of trouble. It's how it works.
Alex. I'm not that. I've never heard the Norman wisdom one before, though. I mean, I've been educated tonight. Julie says, once I moved away from the northeast, I started to get hay fever. Geordie Howeman says, I might have man flu. Well, it's a possibility.
You wouldn't know. You'd never talk about it.
I never, ever make a fuss.
It just fights through it. Look at the ultimate personality here.
Exactly. Cesare says, Paul, it's not like you to complain about a cold. Are you okay, mate? Thank you, Cesare. I appreciate this. That's what, a nice sympathetic ear. By the way, I presented this show with COVID. I'd just like to point that out, right?
When I was mentioned that either.
I still did the show. Alex, pack in laughing because it's the truth.
Your doctor told me.
What the hell just happened to my voice?
Don't know.
Your doctor told me that you go in there every week with a cold or flu. And one week the doctor actually said to you, Mr. Ditchman, I think you've got hypochondria. And you said, oh, no, not that as well.
Yeah. Billy, you're about as funny as a ripped arse piece. Right. Bull Shark says, how can you always be that happy supporting the Toon? Listen, no.
Says, right, get on in.
Listen, you can't be happy all the time supporting the Toon. Look at our channel last year. I mean, we needed to go to Depression Anonymous last year after what happened. It was crippling. It was painful. It was a nightmare.
John nearly came off YouTube.
Sorry?
John Sinclair nearly left YouTube.
John was about to quit. Geordie Howeman says Albert Luque look good on YouTube. Yeah, there you go. Ian says the chicks love the feet. Okay. Gary says my new shoes are being delivered tomorrow in an articulated lorry. Jeez. Wow. Julie says she knows of that trick. Done it a few times myself. Lee says, Paul, they'll turn it on you and it's our fault. Women.
Watch his sunshine.
Where is he? Is he in the next room by any chance?
Downstairs.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Lee, man, had you been at work? Fair enough.
Bang the floor, Danielle. Bang the floor. Go on.
Absolutely. Lee says no wisdom here. Adam says, Paul, when is the next one of Four Horsemen special? God knows. God knows. Listen, watch TTR Friday. You'll get much better laugh. Lee says, Paul's had COVID more times in the Chinese village. Is there something wrong with your fella tonight, Danielle? Because he seems to be peeing everybody off. Honestly. David says, Paul, you had COVID. You should have mentioned it.
I know.
Oh, dear me. Deborah says, Paul, you need to get yourself to Boys. Other stores available. They sell man flu laws. Yes, they do, actually. I've seen them. But look, cheers, Joe. It's probably just monkeypox. Well, thank you very much. Love you too. Right. Billy, Saturday, team selection. Who are you going with?
Obviously, exactly the same team as last week. Totally unchanged.
Yep.
So we're looking at Pope in goal, Trippier, Chair, Burn and Target, Joe Linton, Bruno, Willock, Miggy, Wilson, and Sam Maximan. See no change.
And the scoreline?
Well, I'm going for a 3-2 Newcastle win.
Oh, God, 3-2. And who's going to score?
I'll take Wilson for a couple, and I'm going to say Joe Linton.
Wilson and Joe Linton. Okay. Right. Billy, last week, can you remember what your prediction was?
Did I say 3-1?
You did. So you got the result right. So you get a point from last week. So you're on 1 point in the in our little league. but you're going 3-2. Oh, bloody hell! I can't. Why is it you can't find a pen that works when you need it?
I've got one.
Oh God! I just nearly ripped my wrist off with the fan. I've got it on full power here, and I'm still sweating like a moose,
Mm-hmm.
Right, Billy, you going 3-2? Yeah.
Yeah, 3-2 Newcastle.
Okay, Alex,
And
your
it's gonna be a
lineup
cracking
for
game.
Saturday.
Yeah, unchanged again. I won't list it again, but yeah, exactly the same lineup.
Okay, and your score?
1-1 at half time, and I think we'll clinch it 2-1.
Do you know, you ask for a full-time score and he still gives you a half-time one. What is it?
I don't know what you expect from him. He always
It's
does
very
this.
thorough, very thorough.
Indeed.
You're going 2-1 Newcastle, Alex,
It's
yes?
going to be Miggy and Joe Linton.
Miggy and Joe, okay. Well, you don't get anything for the scorers, but never mind. Right, Alex, can you remember your prediction last week?
It was also 3-1.
It was. So you're on 1 point as well. Danielle, what's your team for Saturday?
Same team.
Exactly the same as well. Okay, and your scoreline, please.
Well, I was going to go 3-2 to us, but I'm not now because Billy has. So I'm going to go
competition.
I'm going to go Brighton 2, Newcastle 4.
Oh, go on, Danielle.
It's not like me.
Laura.
You know that.
Well, it really
carried
isn't,
away.
Danielle.
No,
I'm not sure how you're going to do in this little mini league, but never mind.
sorry, because I'm winning in the fantasy league, so you're all right.
Okay. Wow. There was simply no need for that.
Thanks, Billy.
I'm all in
What
for
is
that.
it, my co-host here? I'm going to have to. I tell you what, contracts are
Can't win
going to come up for
everything.
renewal shortly. I tell you, it's absolutely unbelievable. It's abuse. I can't take it anymore. Can you remember what you went for last week, Danielle?
Yes, 5-0.
You did go for 5-0. So
Yeah.
you got the winning team right. So you are also on 1 point.
Mhm.
Now, I am going to go for 3-1 Toon win.
Oof.
So I think Wilson will get 2, and I think the other one will come from Miggy. So there you go. Now, last week I went for a 2-0 Newcastle United win, so I got the score correct. So I get 3 points.
Well, you've got to get some points from somewhere, haven't you? So good on you.
Yes, Billy?
It's brilliant.
Would you like the comment?
Not at all. Not
Did you
at all.
predict 2-0, did you? I could have sworn you predicted
No, I
like
didn't. I was
4-0
waiting
or
for
something.
somebody to correct me, but you all just let me.
I thought you predicted 4
But you know
or
why
5.
we do?
I
You know why we do
I
that?
said
'Cause
4-1 to Newcastle. So
Yeah,
you know what it is? I
knew
could have
that
been on
was
3 points there.
iffy.
I could have.
Yeah,
but
Oh.
trust you.
Not with me. I knew
we trust
you
you,
were.
but now, if
no,
you're going to be
me being
sneaky,
the honest man that I am, I wouldn't take it.
I point me pen at you.
I'm
Because you
also
did.
on-
I remember
Wow.
it. You sat there in your chair and you went, "Sod it! I'm going 4-1," and you did the thing.
Alex, that's really
Very
not funny.
accurate.
That is
Very
not funny.
accurate.
It's just disgrace. I don't know what happens to you on a Thursday night, man. You're all calm, collective on the earlier show. And now
I'm on the
you're
water.
trying to do impressions of me banging my seat. I never bang my seat. God damn it. So the Toon Review Host League sees us all on 1 point. Looking at the scorelines we've all predicted, I think Alex has probably got more of a chance of getting it right with a 2-1. But time will tell.
We've all got 1 point. That's more than Man United have got in the league. So.
Exactly. Well
Actually, yeah.
said.
You are perfectly correct, Amundo, Alex. And let's all laugh at Man U. Let's all laugh at Man U.
La, 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 la.
I do feel sorry for them sometimes.
I don't.
Really?
You can just
No.
come on, Billy. You can just see, we are slowly blending this preview show into TTR Friday, which will be live at 8 o'clock tomorrow.
Incidentally, for all of us Man U haters,
Yes.
the big match we visited, which is on Sunday morning, have gone back to the 74-75 season, which is a season when they're in the second division.
Ooh.
So it's good fun.
Indeed. Right. It is time for the draw for the Loch Ness FC shirt brewed in Scotland by Gerters. Okay, so somebody may win this, and good luck trying to fit in it. It's very tight. It will show all your lumps and bumps. Unfortunately, I only have one lump, and it showed it quite well. So it's definitely not for the fashion conscious, unless you are built like Louis Vuitton, for instance, who's like a matchstick, or
he's in
Lee,
the drawer.
for instance. Danielle's
He's in the
Lee,
drawer
who
too.
is, basically played Skeletor in He-Man. He was that fat. So I'm going to ask Siri, okay, to pick the number between 1 and... is it 77?
It is indeed.
Okay, here we go. Here, Siri. Pick a number between 1 and 77.
A random number between 1 and 77 is 77.
Wow.
Interesting.
That wasn't very random, was it?
Siri has spoken. The winner
Siri
is
has
number
spoken.
77. Who is the winner?
The winner of the shirt is Stephen Powell.
Yay! Well done, Stephen. Susan, I'm not even going to respond to that. That is disgraceful to try and throw me off again.
Oh, God, why?
I didn't say anything. I really didn't. Something about something showing very well, but we'll not go into that.
Oh, my God.
Not Loch Ness underpants, surely.
The Loch Ness underpants. Listen, we know there's a monster in there somewhere, but I don't wear underpants. You won't watch the show. So, yeah. Abs has said it's just chosen 1 or 77. No, it didn't. It said a number between 1 and 77.
Yeah.
So it did. Look, to just prove it, I mean, we've already got a winner, but I'll do it again. So it will.
Imagine if it says 77.
If it says 77 again, I am resigning as host of this show. Here, Siri.
Mm-hmm.
Pick a number between 1 and 77.
A random number between 1 and 77 is 47.
Oh, there.
There you go.
See?
There you go. So it did do it right.
Thank God for that.
So just picked 77. There you go. So Stephen Powell, is it, Billy?
Yeah, Stephen Powell's won, but it would have been Louis, and lucky Louis if it had been 47. There you go.
No, that's it.
Listen, Louis won plenty on this channel.
Yeah,
Remember Bullseye when they used to show you what you could have won? Right?
a bit like that, wouldn't
You
it?
could have won.
Speedboat.
Danielle, we're
Super
not bloody
smashing
Bullseye,
great.
will you? So just it's fine. We Are United says love that brother and sister rivalry. Yeah, well, yeah, she's a pain in the arse, but you're
a pain in the arse.
Yes, I know I am, but you are. Anyway, Stephen, if you could send me your address on email, please. The email address for the Toon Review is right at the bottom of the video description, or you can contact me on Twitter, contact me on the Toon Review Facebook page, or indeed the Toon Review page on Instagram, or in fact TikTok. I think you can private. No, you can't. So just send it on them ones. So there you go. That is the preview. We will be back tomorrow night with the TTR Friday, although I feel like that's already bloody started. However, I will not sit here and take any more abuse tomorrow night.
We'll see.
No. We've got it's somebody else has got to take it. I took it last week, and I took it like a man. Right?
Okay. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I did.
Mm.
I did cry a lot after the show, but I took it like a man when we were on screen. So there you go. Right? So don't forget, guys, tomorrow night, TTR Friday. If you want to start your weekend with a great laugh, building up to... Am I boring you, Alex?
Sorry, up very early today.
That's a ridiculous comment. Chris has just put between 1 and 77 excludes 1 and 77. 77 win it, Chris. How can that be true?
Oh, yeah. Good point. Well,
do you know what it is? I feel like Newcastle United here. It doesn't matter what you do. You'll always get criticised.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but
remember,
we just proved.
Don't take criticism from someone you wouldn't take advice from. I've told you this
That's
3
very
times
true.
now.
But can I just say, we just then again did it, and it picked another number. So
47.
I don't bloody care anyway. It's me that's giving the bloody shirt away. I give it to the hell who I want. So there you go. Please join us for TDR Friday tomorrow, 8 p.m. I will be doing a video at some point as well, obviously with the Eddie Howe press conference reaction video. See what the gaffer's got to say tomorrow. So keep an eye out on the channel for that. If there's any big news breaks regarding transfers, we will bring it to you here first on the Toon Review. But thank you, everybody, for watching. If you have enjoyed tonight, please don't forget to hit the like button.
We forgot something. It's been like 2 shows, and we've forgotten to mention we signed that new goalkeeper from East Fife in Scotland who had a trial. I felt like we had to say it because I think we've forgotten in the 2 shows today. So welcome.
Ooh, another goalkeeper.
I've forgotten his name though. I do apologise. But he was on trial. I felt like we've got to give him a shout out because he's a young lad. He's just signed.
Give him a shout out. I don't know what his name is.
Well, no, Alex, you give him a shout out. You don't have to keep going, mate. We get the message.
I don't watch East Fife, I'm afraid.
Well, that's just disregard. East Fife, I do apologise. If there's any East Fife fans watching the Toon Review, I do apologise for the disgraceful comment that Alex has just made that he doesn't know anybody from East Fife. I think it's a disgrace. I could name their team 1 to 11 straight off the belt. I won't because I don't want to embarrass Alex. But thank you, everybody. We'll see you on TTI Friday. Please do hit the like button because it does help YouTube realise that this is an absolutely blending, sensational channel. And it helps us move up those search results. Thank you very much to all the recent new subscribers. Please do hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. And, of course, the bell, which will let you know when we upload or we go live. Thank you to the Mod Squad for a fantastic job again tonight. Thank you, you 3, although I shouldn't really be thanking you because you're just an abuseful bunch of cretins.
Wow.
But unfortunately, I have the company of these 3 tomorrow night again for TTR Friday. Thank you to Chloe, of course. Shut up and let me finish the show. Thank you to Chloe for joining, giving a Brighton perspective of things. And we'll see you tomorrow night for TTR Friday. Love yous all. Good night.
How are the lads and lasses?